What's up, you guys? Sean Rossat, managing editor, FightfulMMA.com. A reminder, we are live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern with the Fightful MMA podcast. Just not this Tuesday. It's WrestleMania week. We got a lot of other stuff planned. No event next weekend. So you're getting your wrap up right here. But keep it locked at FightfulMMA.com and our YouTube channel. James Lynch is going to have a ton of content. We had tons of comments on our UFC Philadelphia live coverage. Go over and check that out. Take part in our pick'ems in the future. But UFC Philadelphia, my God, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you some highlights, what I can without getting pulled down. But damn, the last three fights were something special. Alex Perez defeated Mark De La Rosa. This was a bantamweight fight featuring a top 15 flyweight in Alex Perez. He dominated Mark De La Rosa. We asked on the show what Alex Perez is going to show up. The right one showed up. You had Marina Moroz defeating Sabina Meza. Now, Meza had a lot of hype behind her because of the head kicks, but Marina Moroz ended up picking up that win. She says she's not fighting at strawweight anymore. I don't blame her. I thought she looked pretty good here. Kenney at 137 pounds, defeating Ray Borg. Now, Ray Borg missed weight again. A weight division up. Keep in mind, I know Ray Borg's had a lot of personal problems, but he's now not won a fight in over 2 years, although he probably should have won this fight. He's been pulled from 4 fights, had another rescheduled, had 2 opponents fall out, and he missed weight. That is about as bad as it gets. And if not for his family issues, the issues surrounding his son, I honestly think he's gone. I think he'd be gone from the UFC otherwise. I hope he's not. I hope he gets a chance to set things straight. But he was a minus 255 favorite. And as I said on the preview, if Casey Kenney comes in as a big underdog, put 5 on him. Casey Kenney fought last week and won at bantamweight. So there's a whole nother can of worms there, because Casey Kenney, who had never fought in the UFC before and was fighting at bantamweight tonight and fought at bantamweight last week, is now a number 15 ranked flyweight? Huh? Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure since 2017, since his loss, mind you, his Dana White Contender Series loss in August of 2017, he's fought a flyweight 1 time. Why are you putting him in your rankings, homies? What's going on here? Who made this call? I'm ready for this to get scrapped already. Mother of God. Ray Borg probably should have won this fight. I'm going to pull up MMAdecisions.com and see how everybody scored each of these. But yeah, about 90% of media had it for Borg. 87% of fans had it for Borg. Borg should have won this. You could argue that because of the headache that he has been, maybe no sympathy there, but I got sympathy for the guy. 100% of media and fans had Marina Moroz winning. 100% of media and fans had Alex Perez winning as well. We move on to 2 more decisions. Kevin Holland against Gerald Meerschaert. Kevin Holland was begging to get Von Flue choked and begging to just get choked in general. And you guys know how I feel about that. If you've watched this show for any extended period of time, you know that I go off whenever I see a any fighter, not just a pro fighter, any fighter who's had any training, hold on to a guillotine choke while their opponent has him inside. We spoke to Gerald Meerschaert ahead of this, and he got hosed. This was another bad decision, back-to-back. 68% had it for Meerschaert of the fans. About 80%, I would say about 80% had it for Meerschaert from the media standpoint. He should have won this fight. And I feel really bad that he didn't, because he took this fight on about 2 or 3 weeks' notice against a guy who then had the balls after the fight to say, "Oh, I'm tired of wrestling. Give me somebody to strike with." And Kevin Holland dropped the F-bomb on TV, by the way. But like, when I get it, UFC loves their Contender Series guys. They do. And Kevin Holland did step up and fight Thiago Santos on short notice, but man, he did not win this fight. Gerald Meerschaert did. Another terrible decision. You had Kevin Aguilar defeating Enrique Barzola. This was an okay fight. Barzola got beat across the board. This wasn't close. Not necessarily a name you need to look out for, but one that you should is Desmond Green. He may have ended Ross Pearson's career. And that Ross Pearson has now lost 6 of 7. His only win in that span is against Mizuto Hirota, who was not good, and I'm pretty sure is out of the UFC now. If he's not, he's about to be. Desmond Green put the clap into him, man. And this was the type of win that a Desmond Green needed after losing to Taisimov. I mean, he came into the UFC and he beat Josh Emmett, and that meant a lot, him beating Josh Emmett via split decision. But he got beat by some really good people. And 2 of the guys that he fought, I'm with him. He said, he was like, I haven't really got a chance to show what I can do because 2 of my opponents missed weight. And not only did both of them miss weight, Prazeres and Taisimov both missed weight by 5 pounds. This wasn't like some small bit. Like, they were closer to 165 pounds than they were 155 pounds. So if I'm the UFC, I wiped the Taisimov and Prazeres from the record. And if you're looking at it that way, the man's 3-1 in the UFC when people actually make weight. Desmond Green looked pretty damn good, and he was a major favorite. Marina Rodriguez, Jessica Aguilar. Oh boy. Marina Rodriguez beat the crap out of Jessica Aguilar. Now, Jessica Aguilar showed a little bit of heart. And that can be admired, sure. But at this point, I don't know what Jessica Aguilar can offer the UFC. Man, she is 36. She's going to be 37. She's 1-4 in her last 5. This Rodriguez only got deducted a point because she eye poked Aguilar. Now, I thought that the refs let, even with the point deductions, I thought it was a little too egregious. One more and Rodriguez would have had to have been DQ'd. To me, I don't know how you let those go so egregiously. I mean, all night long we saw it, and Jessica Aguilar was a bloody mess. She got beat to a pulp, and you just have a younger, hungrier Marina Rodriguez who is still, I mean, she'll be 32 next month, but she's had a nice start to her career. She beat Marina Oliveira on Contender Series, went to a draw with Randa Marcos. They couldn't get that Alexa Grasso fight to happen because they scheduled it twice for this show, and both of them ended up getting hurt and delayed. But beating Aguilar, you could do a lot worse than that. She's undefeated still, 10-0. I think you put her against a top 15 opponent. You put her against somebody that can really challenge that undefeated record. But I thought that Marina Rodriguez looked good outside of the fouls that happened. Like, my God, man, that was getting a little uncomfortable here and there. Sodiq Youssef defeated Shaman Moraes. Youssef is a pretty highly touted prospect, and perhaps understandably so. Didn't get the finish in which I thought he could get over Shaman Moraes, and Shaman Moraes is a tough dude. I mean, I think he had won 4 or 5 coming into this fight, and his only other 2 losses were to Zabit and Marlon Moraes. So obviously it's the top level that he has trouble with. Sodiq Youssef is still 25. I think he'll be 26 in a few months. Has a lot to learn, but now he's 3-0 between Contender Series and the UFC. Like I said, if you can come in from Contender Series, fight soon after your Contender Series fight, get another fight under your belt, and you've got 2 wins since your Contender Series fight got you a job in the UFC, they're going to look favorably upon you. That's one of the reasons why they booked this Contender Series, is so they can find people that can fight on short notice, take fights on short notice, look good, because they get to decide who gets the contracts out of this. And I thought that He did have the room to kind of go to the scorecards in this fight as opposed to needing a finish to stay impressive and keep that highly touted prospect tag on him, because he came out and got that early finish last time out against Mokhtarian. The Sodiq Youssef, another Contender Series product that looked really, really good. And I mean, back-to-back ones between him and Marina Rodriguez. And that show, Kevin Holland even won, even though he shouldn't have won earlier in the night. That show has been a massive success for the UFC. Like, you got to look at that and say, damn, man, they won. Paul Craig won. Whoo, Kennedy and Chekuwu. Where can I start with this guy? The fight IQ on this kid. I hate to call anybody a kid. It's like I'm talking down to them. But I'm about to bury him anyway. This guy had nothing short of just absent fight IQ. Throwing himself into arm bars over and over again, like 2 or 3 different times he threw himself into a Paul Craig arm bar. Not only that, he grabbed the fence or over the fence like 4 times. You can't do that. You can't hang your arm over the fence either. And that is a product of one of his gifts. He's got such a long reach and he's such a big dude that he has the physical ability to be able to do that. But it happened time and time and time again. And then 2 eye pokes happened. And I'm thinking, if homeboy is fouled 6 times, that's a DQ. That's it. Paul Craig should not have had to come back and tap out in Chekuwu. He shouldn't have had to, because this fight should have been ended by DQ earlier. After, I don't know, the 4th or 5th time he held the fence, much less the 2 eye pokes that caused the point deduction. Holy crap, man. Do the rules not mean anything? No, I get it. It's common nature, and sorry for the new angle, and it's like 3D here, but hey, I get it. It's second nature to reach over, grab a fence if you're getting taken down. But hey, if you've been told 4 times not to do it, then you don't do it anymore. You stop it. If you're told don't hang your arms over the cage, you don't do it. Oh, by the way, it's told to you before, don't fight people like this. If you're watching at home, you're thinking, Sean, stop. That's freaking me out. Imagine if you're in a damn cage fight. Good for Paul Craig. Paul Craig deserved this for many different reasons. And I'm glad he got it, because if he would have lost, he probably would have been cut from the UFC. He would have been like 1-4 in his last 5. Instead, now he's won 2 of his last 3. 2 of those fights by triangle choke. And I mean, every single fight he's had in the UFC has been a finish. The man has never had a decision recorded, pro or AMI, that I can find. And he's been fighting for 6-7 years at this point. So when Paul Craig gets in there, you take a bet that the fight will not go to the distance. Just go ahead and do that. And Paul Craig's a big ass light heavyweight too. He's 6'4". But Nchekwu was like 6'5", and he's got an 83-inch reach. He's a specimen, man. Another Contender Series guy. Took him about, I think, like 7-8 months to get into the cage, though. Not impressed with him. Not impressed. Yikes. That was just bad reffing, bad judging across the board tonight, I thought, in a lot of situations. Michelle Waterson, I got to heap praise on this woman. So I thought when she got beat in Invicta and lost the Atomweight Championship, it was a hell of a fight, and she had a great run there, beat Jessica Panay, and had a nice Atomweight run. I thought that maybe she was being pushed too much. I don't complain about that stuff publicly, because whoever the UFC wants to push, they can push. Cream rises to the top. And she stepped into the UFC, jumped up a weight division. Now it's not like she had never fought at strawweight before. She fought her first 5 years at strawweight. but she was better as an atom weight. She became Invicta atomweight champion, had a couple fights of the nights and all that. Beat Magana, no big deal. Beat Paige Van Zant, that was impressive to me. And she beat Paige Van Zant in one performance of the night. Then she takes on top talent in Rose Namajunas and Tecia Torres and does not do well. And I thought, man, maybe that's it. You never know. We still are learning a lot about women's MMA and like when the cutoff age is, like when we'll see the decline. And a lot of people, myself included, thought maybe she's getting to be 32 years old. Is this going to be her physical decline? Hell no, it ain't. Since she turned 32, she beat Courtney Casey via split decision, beat a very tough Felice Herrig, and a very tough Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Now, one does have to wonder, all those finishes she had never had back-to-back. I don't think, since her first two fights of her career, she never had back-to-back decisions. Now she's rocking 4 in a row. I wonder what the cage miles will do, but based on tonight, didn't look like much. She looked great. Like, I hate that head and arm hip throw that so many women do and they get their back taken, but Kowalkiewicz wasn't there for it, man. And you got a Karolina who's 2-4 since she got her title shot. I'd put Karolina against somebody 10-15 range maybe now. Michelle Waterson did a lot of the right things and looked very, very good. Joseph Boza says, Tatiana Suarez and Nina Ansaroff are about to have a title eliminator at UFC 238. What do you do with Michelle at 115? Well, let me see what's out there. Because I know that she wants a title shot. She's not getting a title shot. Andrade's getting the title shot next. And then Suarez and Ansaroff are getting the title shot after that. So if you're Michelle Waterson, there are options, man. Claudia Gadelha is an option. Weili Zhang is an option. If you want to go down one, Carla Esparza is an option. But I think if you're the UFC, you want Michelle Waterson against a pretty big name. I think Claudia Gadelha is that. I think that Gadelha could be that name. Can't speak highly enough about Michelle Waterson and the performance that she put on there. That was impressive. That was great stuff. Just a winner. And that says a lot that she faced adversity in this weight division. And she can't go down. She can't go up. She moved up as it was. So for her to weather the storm and then come back with a vengeance like this, I've got all the respect in the world for Michelle Waterson. What do we have up next? Sorry, lost my place. But as far as Michelle Waterson went there, Gadelha being the best option. The thing is, UFC doesn't often go to the, especially these days, the obvious choice, the one that makes the most sense. They haven't been going with that. I mean, they passed on Askren Lawler too. They passed on Edwards versus Masvidal. So I don't have a great amount of confidence that the UFC will just step up and be like, all right, let's put her in there against another decent name. Let me go ahead and show you some highlights here. Josh Emmett and what he was able to do to Mike Johnson. This was incredible. After 2 rounds of just boring. Bink. Take another look. Bink. Look how he falls. Bink. Damn. This fight was not great. You saw the best of the fight right there. You're not missing anything else by not watching that fight. It felt like they missed about 80 to 90% of the strikes that were thrown that way. And Josh Emmett needed that. He needed that finish in order to win. And he got it. And that was a big one. But make no mistake, he was losing that fight. Michael Johnson, the thing is, he had like a renaissance at featherweight. Beat Feely, beat Lobov, was about to beat Josh Emmett, was 45 seconds away from beating Josh Emmett. and got put out. Josh Emmett had a tough 2018. He got knocked out by Stevens and had to undergo facial surgery, for the love of God. This is after he came in as a pretty highly touted guy. Won 4 of his first 5. His only loss was that split to Desmond Green. He had missed weight in December of 2017 and missed it monumentally. So this was him getting back on the right track. I think he needs to start a little bit faster moving forward. Because if he lets those hands go, we see what he's able to do. We've seen him knock out Lamas before. He knocked out people with fair regularity on the regional circuit. Man, you want to talk about impressive performance. How about Jack Hermanson? David Branch had never been beaten in the first round, period, before tonight, before Jack Hermanson stepped in and guillotined him in 45 seconds. What more can I say about that? Dave Branch is a legit black belt. There's not anything more to break down. Hermanson got inside, yanked that guillotine, got the tap against a top 10 guy, and now he's got to be ranked. He's got to be ranked at this point. He's 6-2 in the UFC. There's a lot of people that are saying, oh man, second coming. Maybe not go there. We'll see how he does. Dave Branch is inconsistent at best. We've seen the best and the worst of Dave Branch over the last several years, from World Series of Fighting double champion to a black belt getting tapped out in under a minute. So I would like to see him fight again soon as well, because with this type of performance, there's nothing really keeping him out of it. And considering that the UFC is looking to, I mean, they need middleweight contenders. A lot of those middleweights are probably bumping up to light heavyweight. He's won 5 of 6. I'd keep him involved. I would for sure keep him involved. Oh, this main event. Let me give you all a look at these highlights. Let's take a look. Justin Gaethje knocks out Edson Barboza. Here it comes. They traded leg kicks, and it was beautiful. But then Gaethje just catches with that right hook, and that's a wrap. That will do it, as they say. This fight had everything that you wanted in about 2.5 minutes. Rankings be damned. I know that Justin Gaethje complained about the rankings after this fight, and Donald Cerrone's ahead of me, and yada, yada, yada. Don't care. Gaethje, my man, you're not there for the rankings. You're there to do what you just did. Put on fights and main events that, on paper, you may say, oh, really, him? He just broke a 3-fight losing streak. Well, this is the main event everybody wanted. Gaethje stepped right in, bam, low calf kick. And it was going to be low calf kick versus the thigh kick of Barboza, and they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with it. Phenomenal stuff. That is exactly what you want. Then they stand and trade. Barboza gets caught. Barboza goes out. Whoo! This is what you came for. This is what you bought your ESPN Plus for. I didn't care about the number next to their name for this fight. Don't care about it for their next one either. Edson Barboza is a gatekeeper in this division, and there are far worse things to be than a gatekeeper in this division. However, he's lost 3 of 4. He's lost to Gaethje, he's lost to Lee, he's lost to Nurmagomedov, he's lost to Ferguson, Cerrone. What's next for Barboza? Top 15 for sure. You know that's happening. But when you look at things, how about an Alexander Hernandez? How about a Charles Oliveira? Nate Diaz ain't going to fight. How about one of them? As for Justin Gaethje, well, they already got Iaquinta and Cerrone booked. So Kevin Lee's moving up. Justin Gaethje has... The thing is about Gaethje is any fight that he has is going to be good. Maybe Paul Felder would be a good one since everybody else seems booked up. If Tony Ferguson wants to fight soon, maybe him. I like it, man. This was a fun night. Reminder, guys, WrestleMania week next weekend. We have so much coverage. My God, boggles my mind just thinking about it. Sorry again for the new angle and the handshaking and all that. Leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Let people know about it. The more subscriptions we get, the more thumbs up we get, the more clicks we get, the more we can bring people on to do new stuff. We're open to new content ideas. If you have new content ideas, send them to me. Send me a Twitter DM outlining them. There's a lot of channels like MMA World. I'd love to do some content like that, some video-based content. So hit me up. Let me know. I want to grow this MMA channel and make it a lot like our pro wrestling channel. I will be back this week for a UFC rankings video. Seda Wolf will have his UFC Philadelphia What the Hell Happened. Lots of good stuff over at FightfulMMA.com. Thank you, guys. Until next time, Fightful, subscribe.